From KVUE News in Austin, you're watching Texas This Week with Ashley Goodo.
Good morning. The Texas House Democrats are out of the state, breaking quorum to fight congressional redistricting. And that's the big story, dominating not only Texas politics, but national politics this week. Our crew was outside the tarmac on Sunday when the Democrats arrived on a charter bus and boarded a private plane in Austin. The move, Democrats say, was their only option to stop a vote set for Monday to redraw the congressional district map in such a way that 5 Democratic seats would flip and turn Republican, meeting a direct request from President Donald Trump to help the GOP maintain its majority in the 2026 midterm election. When the House gavelled in on Monday, a quorum wasn't present, and Speaker of the House Dustin Burrows wasted no time taking action.
Some of our colleagues have fled the state in their duty. They've left the state, abandoned their posts, and turned their backs on the constituents they swore to represent. They've shirked their responsibilities under the direction and pressure of out-of-state politicians and activists who don't know the first thing about what's right for Texas. To be absolutely clear, leaving the state does not stop this House from doing its work. It only delays it. And every day this chamber is unable to act, the cost grows. In response to this dereliction of duty, and pursuant to the rules of the House, I am prepared to recognize a motion to place a call on the House and any other motions necessary to compel the return of absent members. Should such a motion prevail, I will immediately sign the warrants for the civil arrest of the members who have said they will not be here.
Speaker Burrows did sign those civil warrants to try and bring the Democrats back, and he and Attorney General Ken Paxton have asked the Illinois courts and legislature to honor those non-criminal warrants to bring the Texas Democrats back. Governor Greg Abbott asked the Texas Supreme Court to strip House Democratic Caucus Chair State Representative Gene Wu from his seat. Attorney General Ken Paxton followed suit, asking the court to remove 13 lawmakers from office, including 5 from Austin. He also sued former Congressman Beto O'Rourke's political action campaign, powered by people who he believes is fundraising to help pay the $500 a day fines the House Democrats are racking up while away. And what is starting in Texas is rippling out across the country. In California, state lawmakers say they will treat Texas lawmakers redrawing the map as an emergency, and they will respond by redrawing their state's map. Meanwhile, Republican leaders in Florida and Missouri have floated the idea of mid-decade redistricting, and Vice President J.D. Vance was in Indiana Thursday to discuss the issue with leaders there. Even with all the actions and threats, the Democrats remain unmoved and united in their decision to break quorum, saying they are doing this for the people of Texas. Let's hear from some of them about why they believe leaving is the right way to fight. The governor has also pointed to this AG opinion that states he can say that you all have vacated your offices and he can essentially appoint people to take your places. Share with us your thoughts on that, and your understanding of what he's talking about doing.
So what he is talking about doing is unlawful. He does not have the authority to remove us from our position that we were duly elected to by our constituents. And not only that, it is deeply disrespectful to the voters of Texas. We are their elected representatives. They support us being a way to block this bill. I'm getting so many messages of gratitude from my constituents.
We're fighting for what our constituents have asked us to do. My district is getting ripped apart in these congressional maps. And I had a town hall on Saturday where 250 of my constituents came out to fight back against these maps and overwhelmingly asked me to break quorum and leave the state. So we are representing our constituents.
Make no mistake about it, we are running from nothing. We see the danger that is coming and we are running straight for it. Please know that last week, Texas Republicans, in their effort to try to appease the entitlement of Donald Trump, have tried to steal 5 congressional seats from the voters of Texas. This is not the first time we have seen folks try to appease Donald Trump. You all remember that Trump called Georgia and asked them and said, boys, I need 11,000 votes. To their credit, those Republicans said, no, we're not doing that. That crosses a line. When Trump called Governor Greg Abbott and Texas Republicans and said, boys, I need you to steal 5 seats, they said, does July work for you? Well, it does not work for us as Texas Democrats, because we recognize that this is not just about Texas. This is about ensuring that the voters get to determine the outcome of their next election. We are now facing threats. The threat that we're going to lose our jobs, the threat of financial ruin, the threat that we be hunted down as our colleagues sit on their hands and remain silent as we all get personal threats to our lives. When people show you that they are more concerned with keeping the job than doing the job, you know that they are not worthy of public service.
Tell us as much as you can about what happened this morning.
You know, we were awoken to an alarm going off throughout the hotel, telling people that a bomb threat had been made on the hotel property and that we needed to evacuate immediately. Very similar if you've experienced a fire alarm going off with warnings, but it was specific that a bomb threat was made. We spent about 2 hours outside. I'd like to thank Governor Pritzker, law enforcement, and the hotel staff. They showed real leadership, something that we lack in Texas from our governor. They showed real leadership, and they made sure that we were safe and the facility was safe, and they're now doing everything they can to ensure that we stay safe. So just a big thank you to all of them.
You know, obviously, this is not the first time that you have participated in a quorum break, but certainly something to this extent seems, extreme. Talk to us about your reaction to all of this, knowing that there are now bomb threats being made against you guys.
You know, it's disturbing, it's shocking, but it's not surprising. When you have a governor that is fanning the flames with rhetoric about locking us up and dragging us back to the Capitol, and you have an Attorney General in Ken Paxton who has called on people to hunt us down, it's not surprising that this type of stuff is happening. Their sycophant supporters want to please them, just like they want to please Donald Trump. And so they're doing these actions and they're putting people's lives at risk. We are having a political fight. We're having a political debate. We are using our constitutional right to break quorum, and that's what we're doing. What they are doing is now taking it from a political conversation and using violent rhetoric that puts everybody at risk. It needs to stop. The governor, the attorney general need to make public statements demanding that the actions of this morning never happen again.
Let's talk a little bit about something you said there. You said our constitutional right, that this is a political fight. You guys are simply fighting. I'm sure you are aware that the governor made that request to the Texas Supreme Court to vacate the seat of the chair of the Democratic caucus, Jean Wu. Talk to us about the actions that are happening now, going to the court system to try to get you all to come back to Texas.
Yeah, I saw that he and the Attorney General, Ken Paxton, were having a catfight about who had the authority to go to the court and do that action. But let me tell you why this matters and what's happening. They are trying to lock up political opponents. We now have Donald Trump saying the FBI should help. That is ridiculous that in this country, that's where we've settled to. That's not something that you see in America. That's something you see in dictatorships and in other countries in darker times in history. And now they want to do that here. We have to continue to stand up and resist that. All Americans, all patriots should be disgusted by the actions of Greg Abbott, Ken Paxton, and Donald Trump.
Well, the special session is set to end on August the 19th, and Texas Democrats say they have no intention of coming back before then. Of course, this is an evolving topic, and we will continue to follow it for you. That's Texas This Week.